Good Monday morning, everyone. Happy New Year and happy holidays to all of you out there in Southwest Florida, Cape Coral and Fort Myers especially. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Rick Harrison. I'm a realtor in Cape Coral and Fort Myers with MVP Realty. Today, I'm going to be breaking down some of the stats that came out over the last couple months, mainly November and December, but I'll also do a quick recap of the past year for the real estate market. Not just Southwest Florida, but the United States as a whole. And then I will break down what this data is showing us as far as trends and predictions. The data is complementary of Keeping Current Matters. But before I do get into actually breaking down the data and going over the stats, I did put all that into a presentation that you guys can all see the graphs and charts on. Before I do get into that, I did want to say I'm very proud to say that my book that I wrote for homeowners, and it could be for sale by owners, but for people thinking or considering selling their home the next, actually whenever, I did write this book. It has risen to number 7 on the bestsellers list on Amazon, and I did just recently make it absolutely free to download for Kindle. So if you are thinking about selling, please feel free to download this book. There's no fluff in it. It really is just straight to the facts. How do you prepare your house to sell it? What do you got to do to kind of market it through social media and different channels like that? And then there's a lot of other, information that will really help you as a homeowner to understand what the process is and things to keep in mind and considering when you're selling your home. So right now I'm going to share my screen, and we're going to get right into the stats on that. First, let's update. We'll talk about just Southwest Florida in general, Cape Coral and Fort Myers. That is my real estate market, as I said. Just going over what's happened in the last 7 days. So this is just as of this past week. We've had 189 new listings come on the market. That's up 34%. And because we're dealing with just Cape Coral and Fort Myers and not the entire area of Southwest Florida, the percentages are going to, they're going to be fairly large as far as it changes. But with 180 new listings coming on in the last 7 days, we've had 362 under contract. That just goes right along with the trends we've been seeing over the last almost year now. There's way more homes that are being sold than are actually coming on the market, which is why inventory is so low right now. And then actual homes sold over the last 7 days, we've had 420 homes sold over the last 7 days. So that's an incredible 200% rise from the last time I ran the stats through this market. So what did we have to see in December? And we're going to be getting more information in the next week or two. I'll be coming out with what happened in December, but those stats are not out yet. But as for now, the number of mortgages in active forbearance is decreasing dramatically. So this chart shows in the millions from back in May of May 29th. We were at 4.76 million. And you can see that the trend has gone down. It's all the way down to 2.79 million. So that's really good news for the market and for the economy, because a lot of people went into this and are actually still talking about it. What is going to happen with all of these mortgages that have gone into forbearance, with COVID going on, what's going to happen to those homeowners, what's going on with the renting situation and everything being delayed with having to pay your rent. But the good news is this chart is showing us that it's been decreasing steadily since May. So that means people are coming out, they're actually paying back, and you're going to see a breakdown right here. 54.6% are already paid in full. So they've already come back from their forbearance and exited that plan. 30.7 are working out a repayment plan. That's all in the blue here. Modifications or loan deferrals. And then 14.7 are still in trouble, with only 1.9% actually in repayment for short sales and deed in lieu. So that's really great news for our market. Another question that was really, keeping homeowners a little bit hesitant about selling, and then also, home buyers about buying, and then also, a lot of people were shaky on whether they should list their house right now because they're not sure what's going to happen, and how the economy, the COVID and the election was going to affect the economy and the housing market. So people were asking, are prices going up too fast? Am I going to be overpaying for my house like what happened in 2006? And what you can see is since 91, we've had a pretty steady 3.8% appreciation rate. But in the last decade and a half, 2 decades almost, you have seen the house appreciation rate go up 6.1%. So it has steadily risen. And a lot of that has actually happened in just the last year with everything going on with COVID and it being an extreme inventory low right now. So the U.S. existing home median sales price, as you can see, the historic appreciation rate is that 3.8% that we were talking about. That's in orange, and you can see it's just steadily rising. But the actual median sales price, as you can see, is in green. And that increased dramatically in up to 2006. And then you can see that's when it started to dip down. That's when we had that housing crisis, the mortgage market. And then 2009 to 2012, it continued to decline a little bit slower. And then ever since then, it's really been rising. But you can see the spike in 2020 when COVID hit. We actually, the median sales price skyrocketed. And then it's basically a law of supply and demand, obviously, as the demand goes up and the supply goes down, the price of the homes will go up, which, as you can see, is the inverse in this chart here. So, people have been asking, is this another bubble? Is this going to be like 2006 all over again? And really, when the statistics come down to it, and chief economist at NAR, Lawrence Yun here, said there's really no comparison to 2006 because of the equity that people have in their houses. And if you just take a look at back then, what was on the housing market, 3.8 million homes were listed for sale in 2006. And home builders were putting up about 2 million new units, whereas now there's only 1.5 million homes on the market, and that is slowly declining too. And the home builders are actually underproducing relative to the historic averages. So they don't think, most of the experts who have been analyzing this data pretty regularly don't think this is going to be another bubble like 2006. In fact, they think that home prices are going to continue going up. And as we look ahead right here, mortgage rates, obviously, everybody knows right now they're at historical lows. They just broke the 14th record low again this year. I think it was around 2.7% interest rate, which is incredible. And as you can see in this chart, the actual mortgage rates for Freddie Mac for the 30-year fixed mortgage have decreased down to 3 steadily. And the projection into 2021 is that they're going to stay there for quite a while. So we expect home sales in 2021 to come in 7% above 2020 levels. So that means that we're expecting even more home sales in the next year. And a lot of experts are actually predicting that that's going to rise and there's going to be even more demand coming out, especially now that we're starting to get some vaccination for the coronavirus and the election is starting to come to a headway. And now home price forecasts. So these are just some of the top forecasters. Obviously, you have over on the right the 2021 forecast from Realtor.com, NAR, Freddie Mac, Fannie Mae. And throughout these charts, you'll see about a 3.7% average home price forecast increase. So that means they're predicting that home prices are actually going to continue to rise at that steady kind of appreciation rate that we've seen over the years since 91. Any foreclosure increases will likely be absorbed by the market, so it's not going to lead to any price declines. That's at least what NAR is predicting. And for those of you who are thinking about selling or buying a home in this winter season, with prices probably continuing to incline over the next couple months at least, we do have a couple guides out, a buyer and seller guide just specifically for this season. It does address a lot of the issues and concerns that people are having going into buying or selling their home. So if you have any questions about that, feel free to shoot me a message, give me a call, shoot me a text message. I'd be happy to send that out over to you. Sorry about that. And then this winter, so as I said, this may be one of the best winters for sales activity on a winter to winter comparison over the years, because um, because of everything that you're seeing going on. Buyers are really kind of really struggling to find the kinds of homes that they're looking for right now. Just the inventory is really low. So sales, let's take a look at the sales over the last few years. So since January 2014, you can see it's been a pretty steady, pretty steady incline of homes over the years. And then into 2020, you see once we found out about COVID, it sharply declined, and then it really came back really strong after that. Buyers were still in the market, and they came back even stronger, more stronger than we've seen in quite a long time, as you can see from the graph. And then we're still looking to continue that trend into 2021. It's probably not going to be anywhere near as sharp and drastic as that increase right there in the beginning of 2020. New home sales, you can see the same kind of trend here. Steady increases over the years, a slight drop right when COVID really came out and hit hard, and then a very rapid recovery in the new home sales. And the same thing with pending home sales. It's just following right along with the rest of the graphs. So the percentage of distressed property sales, as you can see, it's at an all-time low really right now, 1%, which is really good news. It means that people are recovering, the economy is recovering, people are recovering from the COVID, at least financially. It might not seem like that, but if you're looking at the total numbers, it's less than 1% are actually going to foreclosures and short sales, partially due to obviously the fact that the government is providing these different options for people that are in distress financially and the hardships. Now the home prices, this is just broken down by the region, and this is year over year from last year. The US as a whole has had a 15.5% increase for existing home prices. So if you bought anywhere in the last year or so, you will see a pretty good return on your investment over the last year. Year over year change in price, the current rate now is about a 7.3% average, and then we're forecasting 1.9% into the future. So you're going to continue seeing the home prices appreciate, which is really good news. And then inventory. Everybody's already heard this before, and you already know inventory is super low. If you take a look, the ones in light blue, which is majority of the blue states, that is just a stable housing market, meaning there is usually a 6-month supply of homes on the market. The ones in dark blue have a very strong, which means they have actually more houses than the 6-month supply. And then the rest of them in light gray, that's where Florida is located, Southwest Florida as well. That's a weak, meaning we're under the 6-month mark. I believe the last time I checked, we were right about 3.1 months of inventory, which is extremely low. And I think when these next stats come out in December, we're going to see that dip into the 2s. And then the only state that is very weak is New Hampshire up there in the top right. So months of inventory of homes for sale, like I said, about 6 months is average. And as you can see, since last November, we've just really been in a shortage, going all the way down to 2.5 right now as a whole for the United States, which is extremely low inventory. And that's what's been driving a lot of people to the new home sales. There's just not enough inventory of existing homes on the market that they're now starting to look for new construction homes. And that's another reason why new construction is actually underperforming recent years, because they're not keeping up with the demand of new homes. Year over year inventory levels, as you can see, we've hit almost a record low of inventory. And most of the buyers out there probably already know that. They just know that everything that comes on the market, we just listed a house, 3 or 4 days ago. Within hours of us listing it, it was already gone for full price cash offer. And the only contingency was a 7-day inspection, which that's been the kind of the trend over the last several months, is that homes that come on the market are going quickly. They're gone within hours lots of times and they're getting multiple offers at or above asking price. Excuse me. Just another chart just showing from what the percentages are from November of last year to October of this year so far. The supply has been extremely low and just continues to decline, as you saw in that first slide today. New home inventory has also been underperforming. Just the supply is not keeping up with the demand of new homes and owners or buyers coming on the market. So that's down to 3.3 months of supply. And just another breakdown of it. The new home inventory coming on the market is still well below the 6 months that we would need to keep up if we were in a stable economy, stable housing market, which we're not right now. So the buyer demand, the foot traffic has really been high for the buyer demand. The unfortunate part is the foot traffic for homeowners coming on the market is not keeping up with that either. So the buyer traffic index, we're down here in light blue, Florida. It's very strong. We have lots of buyers out there who are hungry for finding their ideal home. And we're just lacking the homes and the inventory to do it and get them in there. What are the predictions for the interest rates? So the mortgage rates, they are predicted to stay down here, 2.7 to 3.0. We think that's going to stay that way for quite a while until the Federal Reserve decides to increase that when they feel like the economy has recovered and we've gotten a kind of a better idea and a better handle on this COVID situation. Same thing with the 30-year fixed mortgage rates. Same thing, they're staying low. And this is right from Freddie Mac. This shows you where they were back in 2019 at the height. And now they've just slowly declined all the way down to record lows. Projections. Quarter one, 2.92, 2.95, 3.02, and 3.07. So they're hovering right around that 3% mark for all 21. And that is going to do it for the slideshow and the projection. If you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below in the comment section. If you have any questions about buying or selling, or you need help finding something, feel free to check out my website, www.swflrelocationteam.com. You can go on there, set up a free account, and search for all kinds of different homes that are on the MLS currently. And then, as I said, just a reminder, my book is on Amazon. I have made it free on Kindle. So if you're thinking about selling, definitely get that. It's going to walk you right through the entire process from start to finish and give you lots of tips and hints on what to do to prepare your home, prepare yourself, find a good agent, all those different things. And as always, you can call or text me. My number is 239-310-5478. All right, thanks, guys. And I look forward to seeing you next week when I'll give you some more predictions and we'll take a look at what happened in December. All right, see ya.